Good afternoon. Welcome to Sower Soccer Complex. I'm Bo Craycraft. I'm joined here today by Ashley Gritton.
Good afternoon.
Ashley, I better get my mask up. Sorry, I'd taken a break. That sun up here is blaring right on our head, and
It is.
overheated a little bit. You've got the black one on, so.
I do.
But we're at Sower Soccer Complex. We've got it's not a district matchup, but we've had these two teams know each other very well. They're neighboring counties. They usually play in the Capital City Classic, so it feels like a rivalry. It probably feels that way to the kids, but there's no district implications or anything like that. We're just going to have it. So we're excited to be here today. Hopefully you guys were able to join us on the Bluegrass Sports Network. We had a little girls soccer action. Frankfort High and Western Hills played. Western Hills came away with a 1-0 win. But, boy, the Panthers fought hard. 2 penalty saves from Caroline McClavick. But the Western Hills Lady Wolverines got the 1-0 win. Probably locked up the second or third seed in the district, which is a pretty big deal in District 41. So congratulations to them. Let's take a quick break, and then we'll come back. We'll try to talk a little bit about some of the key players and maybe just a little recap on the season thus far.
Absolutely.
We're about 5.5 minutes away from kickoff. We thank you for joining us on the Bluegrass Sports Network. Right back.
I'm Dr. Jenny Millen. I'm owner and chiropractor at Triple Crown Chiropractic and Wellness. I started this practice in 2010, and Traditional Bank is the 4th bank I've tried. After switching, I feel like I'm home. I'm from a small town, and that hometown
on Highway 127 South.
Hello, Miss Sylvia. This is John from Anderson Apothecary. I was just calling to see how you were feeling today.
John goes above and beyond for each and every customer that we have.
He jumped right on it. If someone needed help, John would be the first guy there. No questions asked, nothing. He'll be there.
John just wanted to open a hometown pharmacy just to take better care of his customers.
Well, I sure am glad you're feeling better. We're going to be bringing your medication by here just shortly. Is there anything else I can pick up for you?
If you haven't met John yet, come out and meet him, and you'll like him just as much as we do.
Yeah, welcome back. We're here in the nice afternoon for soccer here at Sower Field, and getting ready to see Frankfort and Anderson County get kicked off here, and couldn't ask for much better weather. The field's in great shape, a little bit breezy, which the players will enjoy. And we're talking about our Frankfort High team, and they've put together a 7-1 record so far, and
2 pretty good wins this week versus Danville and Spencer County.
Yeah, absolutely. We the senior night, it was a really good night, and the really interesting thing about senior night is that we had of the goals that were scored, nobody scored 2.
Yeah, we had 8 different goal scorers.
8 different goal scorers, and then we went down to Spencer County and had a really close game. Came away with a 1-0.
5 assists. So he had accounted for 11 or 12 of their 22 goals. So it's going to be a big loss. Coach Pritchett said he's sitting out due to a potential head injury, but they think that they're going to be good news and he's not going to have to miss too much. So hate that for him. Hate to see seniors have to sit out, but I still expect Anderson County. They're going to work hard, and they're going to give Frankfort High quite a battle. So as you can see, we've gotten started.
Yeah, I'll just add in there, I was looking down the roster earlier, and it looks like they've got 9 seniors on there. So they were coming in with some experience on the team.
Yep. You can see Frankfort High immediately trying to get into that final third. That was Adam Gritton trying to play a ball into Ty Hancock, and Anderson County is able to play it out. That's Ashton Austin. He's a sophomore, number 10. One of those back 4 that you mentioned in the pregame, and he plays his partner in the center half position. That's Henry Higbee, senior.
Yeah, this is one thing earlier too. I was looking at Anderson's back 4, and what I've seen out of them the past couple of seasons is they're a pretty disciplined group. Frankfort has looked at a sweeper type look over the last couple of games, but I think you're going to see a pretty rigid back 4.
More traditional flat back.
Yep, in this game.
Well, they let that roll wide there of the frame, so we're going to have a goal kick. And I'll mention that I believe the goalkeeper for Anderson County is Austin Peevler. number 22, I think he plays field as well. He and Josh Garcia, number 24, I think share time in the goalkeeper position. This is Reynolds. Ball goes out for a Panther throw in. Reynolds playing Vermillion in. He cuts it back, trying to get to that left foot. Hancock pulls that attempt wide. So we're just almost 2 minutes in here. Sower Soccer Complex, boys soccer on Bluegrass Sports Network. Frankfort High Panthers versus Anderson County High School.
Yeah, kind of what we expected to see so far, right? Frankfort's been pretty attacking the majority of the season. They seem like they're starting that as well. And
good little combo there.
And Anderson County's dropping back, and looks like they're organized in their back and their middle lines as well. So.
Yeah, they've got a striker that's kind of hanging on the back shoulder of the center backs, but he's on an island.
Yes.
And so I think they're going to try to do what we've seen work. You know, you and I have done 2 Frankfort High games, and in both cases they've been subject to the counter, especially in the wings. So I think you're going to see Anderson try to do that. And you saw a little bit of it there. Frankfort High was able to step and catch the Bearcats offside. But I think they're going to try to run in behind. That's Carlos Hernandez, number 6. Looks like he's got some good speed, and he clearly was trying to play in behind.
Yeah, it's the one thing you mentioned earlier. When your wing backs overlap and get down into the attack, it leaves those wings open for the counter.
Hancock looking for Nathan Neal.
Frankfort's trying to be patient right now, taking their negative passes when they're there and seeing if they can switch field. And
that's Hernandez again, though, looking to get in behind that ball. Was just not quite, I don't think, what they wanted there. That's 26, I think, on that far right side.
Ashton Lewitt, is that 26?
Lewitt, yep. I think that's who that is. We'll try to get a better look at that number. Hancock again looking. There's Preston Barber. We talked about coming up from his wing back position. It's a good ball in, and
good ball in.
Ethan Vermillion just couldn't quite get it down. But there's what we see. Preston Barber always is looking to get forward.
Yes.
And both of the wing backs. We're going to see Ethan Carpenter as well, number 17, but
not with quite the frequency.
Not that he's a little bit older and knows that there's some more risk associated with. Preston's a sophomore. He hasn't got burned quite enough yet to figure out. You got to be, but nah, he has an attacking mentality, and he's been a big part of this group, especially with Lucci Allen having to quarantine.
Yeah, one of the things I've noticed about this Frankfort team is a little bit of a switch. Is it looks like McLean Barber has moved into more of the 6 role, which was what Ty Hancock was playing early on in the season, and
absolutely,
Ty has moved up into more of kind of a 8 type role.
Yeah, you're exactly right. I was actually texting with Coach Brad Kennedy, and they were talking about just how well McLean Barber has played really since the Lexington Christian game. And his work rate and winning those 50-50 balls, but also he's really good at connecting passes. So when you do win that ball, he's able to connect passes. And one of the other things we'll see is here more recently, the Panthers will bring on Colby Craycraft, who will kind of slot into that 8, which allows Hancock to push up into the 10 and Verm to move on the wings.
Great.
And so it gives Coach Kennedy some flexibility. We saw that pretty much the entire second half against Spencer County.
That's a nifty little move from number 6.
I think he's going to cause a little bit of problems. They want a hand, and they were calling for a hand, but I think the arm was inside the body, so you're not going to usually see that.
Well, and number 6 is listed as a freshman, so that's a good sign for
Well, that's one of the things he mentioned. Number 6 is a freshman. Number 3, Landon Pritchett, who's playing kind of that attacking mid, is a freshman. He's got several sophomores, William O'Donnell, Josh Garcia, Ashton Lewitt. So he's building to the future, and this is just his 3rd year. We were talking yesterday, he's been hit by the injury bug, which is unfortunate, but he's slowly but surely building each year. His record's improved and from 1st, 2nd to 3rd. And I know he mentioned they've got a big matchup with Spencer County, district matchup, I think on Thursday. He'd really like to get a result there and try to get into that 2-3 game. And, they want to avoid Woodford County.
Sure.
Woodford County is we know a little bit about that, 41st district.
We do. And, Woodford County's well coached.
Oh, yeah.
They're well coached, high school and middle school both, and they've got some kids, and obviously being right there with the
club
with club as well, they've always got a pretty solid team.
Yep.
And Owen Dom, their senior, he's a
stud.
Yeah, he's a fantastic player. Not to take anything away from the other guys on that team. But
no, I've actually I coached a kid named Kai Coburn who plays over there. Great young man. He's battled through multiple ACL injuries, but is still a wonderful player.
Mm-hmm.
They have the Henry Albor, who plays up top, scores a lot of goals for them. So yeah, they've got a lot of talent. That was Ethan Vermillion playing Tyron Reynolds in. He's got his head up. He's trying to see if he's got anybody in the box. Looks like Verm's making a late run. Tyron's touch just got a little bit away from him there.
Earlier you were mentioning about the injury bug for Anderson County, and one of the names that I saw too was Taylor Wright. He's a sophomore, and he's a kid that I saw play at Bluegrass and Club. I think he's at United now, and so he's another one of those bodies that Anderson County's missing out on having today.
Want to thank Bluegrass Energy for being one of our partnering sponsors here on the Bluegrass Sports Network. This portion of the match will be presented by them, and we're very thankful for their support. Keep an eye out this week. We did a football game last night, 2 soccer games today, so I think we're going to have some power plays from the weekend, Bluegrass Energy power plays. So keep an eye out on our social media and our YouTube page as well, but super thankful for them. There's McLean Barber again. We just mentioned him, and that's a really nice, dangerous ball into the box. Well played there by number 34, Drew Potter. He got a touch because if not, Tyron Reynolds was in.
Yeah, Frankfort's had some opportunities in the area so far and just hasn't been able to connect with anything yet. We're getting close to the 30-minute mark. And
yeah, it's been a good first 10 minutes.
Still 0-0.
Both teams have had a couple chances. This is Daniel Gardia putting a little pressure on Ethan Carpenter.
Yeah, and I saw a shot. I can't remember who sent it earlier, but Anderson County had a really nice long ball right up the center of the field here a few minutes ago. So Frankfort will have to watch.
Looks like we got a handball on Frankfort High. Little unlucky bounce there, but it's going to be a free kick. And that was Luke Griffin. He's a senior.
Sails over.
Yeah, his attempt was just a little bit high. But I think that's what we're going to see out of Anderson. They're going to try to soak up pressure and then try to hit on a counter. And that was similar to what we saw Franklin County, and it worked.
Yes.
They were able to stay in that game. And so in that game, Frankfort High struggled a little bit with keeping the ball moving quicker. So we'll see if they can. That's a bad giveaway right there. Nice little.
So I say number 6 is showing some skill today.
He's got a lively touch, that's for sure, and that's a good ball into the box.
Yes, it is.
That is Luke Hawkinsmith out on the outside wing, not 26. So we apologize. Apologize to Luke. I've been told they call Luke Luha, so we apologize to Luha.
Gotcha. So Colby, it looks like, has made his way into the
He
game.
has. He has. He's actually playing more of the 9 right now. He replaced Nathan Neal, so he's playing more of maybe a false 9, target 9 up there at the center forward position.
Yeah, instead of playing that up top in between those two center backs, he'll be back more into the formation.
Trying to check in, get the connect with those wingers, and he's got Adam Gritton and Tyron Reynolds out on the wings.
So the difficult thing about playing that false 9, I've seen Messi play it some over the years, is you kind of get it from the scoring point of things. You kind of get lost.
Yep.
And
that was 8 right. That's Colby Craycraft, and he won a corner kick there for Frankfort High. Well defended there by Wesley Ashby, another senior.
Looks like Carter Gilbert's come into the game at some point as
well. He has. And Frankfort High goes quick here on a short kick, and that's a dangerous ball in by Ethan Vermillion. And cleared out by Anderson County for another corner kick. That's something I noticed Frankfort High started doing a little they started going short, just trying to change up the corner kicks. That's a good ball cut back there to
decent
McLean.
From McLean.
I think that was more than a decent attempt. I think he probably wish he at least puts it on frame. But again, Anderson County soaks up that pressure.
And so far, 0-0.
0-0. We're almost 13 in. Tyron Reynolds with the win there. Good pressure by Adam Gritton. Vermillion pokes it out to Preston Barber. Back to Vermillion. Is he going to try to – thought he was going to try to wind one up but wasn't able to. Carpenter will. And good save there. Good save by Peevler.
Yeah, I was looking. I don't see number 24
on their roster.
Mm-hmm. But that happens every now and then.
Yeah, especially as you get later in the season, kids are moving around, injuries occur. Preston Barber again. That's to Vermillion, straight out to Adam, but I think he was just a step offside. So that's the movement that you want to see out of the Panthers.
Agreed. Well, you have a defense that's taking the line away from you.
Yeah.
And so you got to start being creative and how to put some combinations to get around that. And Frankfort's doing well, but like I said, give a lot of credit to Anderson for being organized in their sometimes your back line can be organized, but your middle not. But so far they've been good through both.
Got a break here for a couple substitutions. It looks like Taylor Dunnigan is going to enter the game for the Frankfort High Panthers. He's number 20. I didn't catch there was 2 Anderson County Bearcats that joined us. Josh O'Banion, number 14, and Evan Tanner, number 8.
Correct. Showing him as a senior and
I think Evan Tanner is a little banged up too. I think from talking to Pritchett, he's going to be able to give him some minutes today, but not as many as normal. Anderson County's got O'Donnell out here on the left wing. His cross goes just behind for a goal kick.
So it looked like when Taylor Duncan came in the game that coach actually switched Tyron over to the other side in that exchange.
Yeah, maybe he saw something. Tyron's good with that left foot, though, so.
Maybe looking for more getting a cross fed in.
That's him right there trying to connect with Ethan Vermillion. We got Frankfort High has numbers playing in Tyron. He's got Craycraft and Vermillion, and neither one of them could quite get there, but a really nice, dangerous ball across the face of the goal.
And there's that left-footed cross that we were just discussing.
We're 16 minutes in here at Sower Soccer Complex, still 0-0. Ball runs out there on Anderson County for a Panthers throw-in. We want to thank another one of our sponsors, Century Bank out of Lawrenceburg. Century Bank has been with Clint from day one back in the Anderson County Sports TV, and we're very thankful for their support. Carter Gilbert going to take the throw in here for Frankfort High. Looking for Vermillion. It's Tanner.
Decent little layoff there.
That's looking for senior Luke Griffin, and tried to play the ball in there to Carlos Hernandez.
In Anderson County's one of their center backs is number 10, Wesley Ashby, and our number 10 plays as center back as well. So that's not a.
And that's an interesting story. You know, Ashton Austin is a sophomore. The Frankfort High community lost a Panther earlier this year. Keenan Thurman tragically passed away in a car accident, and he and Ashton are family, and Keenan wore number 10. And so Ashton was number 20 last year, but he asked Coach K if he could wear 10 in honor of, he calls it, I think it's his cousin. Keenan is his cousin. And so he's wearing number 10 in honor of Keenan.
That's
and
pretty cool.
he said, I'm going to wear him right on my chest, number 10. So
nothing wrong with that.
No. So it's not a traditional center back number, but we're going to embrace it because, we often say that we're a family at Frankfort High, and that's what we're here.
Sure.
And we lost a member of our family. We also lost Bradley Kamek several years ago, and
this ball's through.
That's a dangerous ball. He is onside. Carpenter's coming over, and I think he put just enough pressure on. But I just want to say Julie Kamek, Bradley's mother, is always supporting Frankfort High, and there's not a day that Coach K or any of us don't think about Bradley and the part that he played in Frankfort High soccer. And it's just a really tragic situation when we have to lose people like that too early in life.
Agreed.
Dunnigan, he had an opportunity there, just a little overhit. Great idea there. But we saw the roadmap or the game plan there for Anderson County, with that ball into Hernandez.
Yes. And Frankfort's got to be we talked about it briefly the other night, and it's when you allow any team's midfield time to get turned and be able to distribute a ball without pressure, then you get distribution like this. And Frankfort
that's Tanner again playing in Hernandez. Well defended by Carter Gilbert, but will go out for a throw. And we immediately see the aforementioned number 10, Ashton Austin, come in. He's going to give Henry Higbee a break, but he's one of those center backs.
But for me, for Frankfort, probably not getting enough pressure on the ball quick enough at the midfield and allowing, like I said, that distribution to happen. And then it becomes a point if you get a handball or a foul in the box, then
or a deflection.
Then things happen. So
I agree.
To Anderson County's credit, they're doing what they need to do, and at the 20-minute mark, we're still 0-0.
I like the word you used a minute ago. They're well organized.
They are organized.
And I think you see that with teams that have a lot of seniors.
Yep.
They're a little bit better at following a game plan. They're a little bit better at being flexible, if you need to change things due to an injury.
Yep. And a coach that's probably big on organization as well, too. So
Vermillion is onside. He's got Craycraft if he wants to do a little cutback. He is going to try to beat the keeper, and that is a really nice save.
It is a nice save. And
Vermillion probably should have laid that off, but he's a goal scorer. So you don't blame him.
Mm-mm.
But Peevler was really quick off his line, cut the angle down well.
And I've seen there's been some good goalies at Anderson County over the years. And
yes, they lost one a couple years ago. Rippey, right?
Rippey, I think you're right. And then I'm trying to think. There was a couple back-to-back. But, yes, good goalies.
Liam.
That's
Sutherland
right.
maybe. I think he graduated the year after Rippy, but they had two that were both pretty accomplished at the club level too.
Very good at coming off their line and dealing with the stuff like that. So
Landon Pritchett is rejoining action there for Anderson County, number 3, and Daniel Gardia also rechecking in. 18.5 left here in the first half. Still 0-0. And haven't had a single stoppage. Again, he's senior, one of their stronger players. I think he's playing through a little bit of an injury.
He is. You're absolutely. You can just tell he's. There's something that he just doesn't feel quite comfortable with. But
yeah, you can see him kind of checking up every once in a while.
He's
He's kind of feeling it right now and looking over at the bench. So that's McLean Barber trying to connect with Craycraft. Good win back there. He's got Barber out wide. Barber looks like he's got to the byline. He needs to get – oh, that's going to be a penalty kick for the Frankfort High Panthers, and it looks like it's also going to be a card. Probably for
goal scoring opportunity.
Yeah, stopping a promising attack.
Because I didn't see a lot of it.
He was playing the ball, so that's why it's a yellow. If it was in the box and he wasn't playing the ball, it could have been a red. But the clock will stop with – we're a little bit fast on our clock, or a little bit slow, so it's really 15:29, so we'll wind ours down. Ethan Vermillion is going to step up for Frankfort High.
And Frankfort's got about 4 subs ready to come on.
Yep, they do.
Anderson's got 1, so.
Vermillion pretty much straight down the middle, but he got the goalkeeper to move, and I think once the goalkeeper started leaning, he just nicely played it in there for 1-0 lead. Ethan Vermillion on the penalty kick earned by Preston Barber. Unfortunate foul there from Anderson County in the box. And we're at 1-0 here at Sower Soccer Complex.
Yeah, we've been talking about that type of play down on the Frankfort's defensive third, but unfortunately it happened to Anderson County as well too. That you just got a guy making a good run in, and that foul leads to a penalty, and you have a breakthrough goal.
Yeah, I refereed a game this morning, and a young man committed a penalty kick, and he was really upset, and it wasn't something that he did on purpose, but it's part of the game. And we got an injury.
Yeah, that was one of those. This happened right in front of us, and that's a tough thing about the game. Sometimes when you go over the ball, you come down on your back or on your arm, kind of funny. And,
yep. Well, we got a break here. I just want to thank Charles T. Mitchell, one of our sponsors here, helping us provide these games on the Bluegrass Sports Network. We mentioned some PK saves from the girls' game by Frankfort High goalkeeper Caroline McClavick. Her dad is one of the partners over at Charles T. Mitchell, so we are very thankful for their support. And I have a feeling we might see Miss McClavick on the Bluegrass Energy Power Plays of the game this week. So she saved 2 in one game, which, even though she was on the losing end, 1-0, those are power plays.
Absolutely.
So got a goal kick here for Anderson County.
Yeah, and you've seen a little bit of we saw this a little bit the other day against Spencer County, where Adam Gritton is playing up in the 9 position now, and
Craycraft has dropped back.
Yeah, he's playing back into the midfield a little more. Nate Neal's over on the wing, so just a little different look.
And it gives you some flexibility, I don't think it's a not working situation today. I think they've been able to create chances, and immediately Adam Gritton is in. He unable to finish, and he took a pretty good shot in the back there. I think if he goes down, he might have got a PK there.
Yeah.
But I like the effort to stay on his feet.
Yes. Yeah, I do too. I'm not that's the unfortunate thing about soccer. A lot of times if you don't go down, you don't get the call. So then you see the other side of that, where kids sometimes are going down maybe a little too easy.
Yep.
So it's
now you want to see kids fight to stay up.
Agreed.
But if they're not rewarded, it's tough because they don't feel like there's the reward. This is Vermillion in the box.
Oops.
Craycraft's trying to get through the mess, but he's unable to, and Anderson County clears.
And Anderson County had 5 or 6 guys just right there in front of, between the ball and the goal, and just said, hey, we're going to make this tough.
And they did. Ethan Vermillion connecting here with McLean Barber. That's a good win by Josh Garcia. We'll pull back. The goalkeeper showing off a little bit, and he's going to earn a foul there for the Bearcats.
He has done a good job of, being a strong body in that midfield and winning the ball back and trying to turn upfield and distribute. So.
Full disclosure, I had the blessing of coaching Josh in club, and he is a tremendous young man. His dad makes some mean tacos, too, owns a taco truck, and Josh is a great kid.
Yeah, absolutely.
That header just goes out there. It's going to be a corner kick. So this is one of these situations you talked about, set piece.
Well, you just never know. I mean, there's corner kicks and free kicks won in the final third, or you have to be very disciplined in the way you defend them. And, if you choose to man mark, all that has to happen is for that one guy to lose his mark and you give up a goal. So I've seen a lot of teams that play for set pieces.
Here's Gritton. He's played through by Vermillion, and look at number 26. What a recovery by 26 there, Ashton Lewitt, but not quite in time, and Adam Gritton puts it in the back of the net.
Yes, that was some jets right there. That kid was coming. That was a great recovery run.
Absolutely, but not in time, and Adam on a through ball from Ethan Vermillion is able to beat the keeper. Again, Peevler came off his line quick, but 2-0 Panthers with a little under about 11 and a half minutes left. Our clock's a little fast here, but we'll get it worked out.
And I don't brag on Adam a whole lot, but that is a pretty difficult situation sometime to maintain composure. And
got a guy on your back.
And then the goalie's coming out and coming down, and so good finish from him.
Yes. You should brag on him.
I'm a little hesitant, too, from time to time. But
that's the coach in you.
Well, you're right about that. It's funny, you were talking earlier. The kids were small at this point, but I actually got a chance to coach Josh as well, too, in a season of U8.
This is Carter Gilbert. Oh, another great save, but –
and stayed with it.
Gilly, as the kids call him, Carter Gilbert Jr., number 2. Again, Ethan Vermillion plays a dime in behind.
Two nice throughs.
Carter, first shot was saved by Peevler, but he couldn't hold on to it, and so Gilly puts it in the back of the net. That's his second goal on the season.
So what spot was that? He came from the outside.
I think he came from, he's in that Peebo, Preston Barber mode. Anytime he can get forward, and he scored against Walton Verona from right back.
There you go.
So you're seeing what Frankfort High likes to do. They like to get into the attack.
Yes. Oh, that was a –
So this is an interesting call. You can't – it has to be a natural play. So the fact that he went down on 4s and headed it, you can't, pop it up to yourself.
But this is an indirect free kick.
It is an indirect free kick. It's an improper pass back. You don't see that very often, but – in soccer, if you play the ball back with any part of your body or with your feet or any other part of your body other than your head or chest, the keeper can't use his hands.
Correct.
And what Austin did there was try to kind of work around the rule.
Use the rules to his favor.
And so the intent was broken and thus the call. But it's right on the corner of the box here.
And just so everyone knows, this cannot go directly in the goal. So you saw
That's Pritchett.
The little touch there.
That's
and
Craycraft with a good tackle and clearance. And the Panthers will try to break out here. And that's going to be a tough foul. That's probably going to be another yellow. You can hear Coach Pritchett just saying, "Be smart there." I think he knew he was just a little bit late, and it's good to see Adam up and walking.
Yeah, you take those. I tell you, there's not a lot of meat on the shin, so when you take a whack across them, you hope your equipment does its job.
Hey,
right?
listen, these kids, they wear the most ridiculously. The shin guards are not even shin guards at this point.
I will promise you, those are the lightest shin guards that he can find. So
it's it's not cool to wear an actual shin guard anymore.
No, absolutely not. So Bo, this is one of the things that I was curious about. We've talked about Anderson County soaking up some pressure, and with a team like Frankfort that really likes to attack, you kind of got to weather the storm during periods of the game, and it looks like they've bounced back and getting a little wind behind them again, but Frankfort they won't hesitate to attack.
No. And they just have kids like Carter Gilbert, Preston Barber, Ethan Carpenter. They want to get forward.
Yes,
and some kids are, and this is William Coblin. He's a freshman. I didn't see him check in the game for Frankfort High, but number 24 has joined the action. Carpenter and Hernandez here having a nice battle. Carpenter couldn't quite keep it in there, so out for a Panther throw in and substitutions. Preston Barber, I think, is going to give Ethan Carpenter a break at outside back.
Coming in the other side this time, right? He was playing left early in the game, so.
It looks like Ashton Lewitt is back in for the Panther or the Bearcats, and then Daniel Gardia has rejoined the action, number 11. Craycraft clearing it into the bleachers, about 12 rows deep.
So, Coach, you were mentioning Josh earlier. Now, was he was playing keeper for you?
He's playing keeper for me, and one of the best. It's not surprising to see him playing field for Anderson County, because I've told people that he's probably the best distributor that I've coached as a goalkeeper. He had half punts, full punts. He'd drop it on the half volley. He's really crafty with his feet, and I think he might play in the second half today. I know in a couple of games he and the Peebler kid have switched, but he's very serviceable as a field player as well.
Yeah, I was looking at Austin Peebler. Looks like he's been credited with the goal this season, and he's listed as maybe a midfield and a forward. So
when I looked at KHSAA, they both had played the same amount of games, 8, which is all of their games.
Sure.
They've got a couple COVID cancellations in there, so that it looks like they've got some ties. We're having a little heading competition here. Vermillion gets it down. He's trying to make his way through. He's going to earn a foul. Good sportsmanship there from Landon Pritchett, coach's son. Great cross there from Nathan Neal. We said Preston Barber was coming in for the left, but it looks like he and Gilly have switched sides, so he's still on the left, and Gilly has moved to the right.
Oh, that was a pretty nifty little move. One of the things I've seen out of Ethan today is that he's a great goal scorer, but he's been distributing the ball really well today too.
We're right at the 6-minute mark here, just a little bit over, and so really excited to share that we were able to add Traditional Bank to our list of partners. Very thankful for them. Today is our first day of incorporating them into the Bluegrass Sports Network, but excited about their partnership. Of course, have a huge presence here in Frankfort, but also Lexington, Paris, and surrounding areas. So very thankful for them. And soccer, you don't get a lot of time for commercials, so they're going to present this portion of the game. Barber trying to get to that byline, but just ran out of real estate there.
There was another little he's really been getting in on the 1-2 play down that side, and then kind of making that little curved run into the box and trying to distribute from there. And that was one that they couldn't get in for an attempt, but you still, like you said earlier, you're trying to see what Frankfort's trying to accomplish.
The weather's great, but the wind has picked up. I'm sure that folks might be able to hear a little feedback.
Yeah.
We're trying to keep our papers from flying around.
Ducking in kind of behind the corner of the
I'm
building.
not complaining after we dealt with rain last week and cold air, but it is a little windy here. Ashton Austin connecting here with number 8. He's got his head up. He's going to play Reynolds in. I'll tell you what, man, that Lewitt kid has got some speed, man.
He does.
And he is going to keep it for a throw-in instead of giving away a corner.
Yeah, and I saw where is he? Dave Frankfort's number 12 has entered the game.
David Reboletto. Is that David Reboletto?
Yes, it is.
He's a freshman. That's a long throw-in, and it's on Reboletto. He drops it. Craycraft, I think he was looking for Gilly. But Verm is on the ball. He's got Cobbs wide, but couldn't. Reboletto tried to toe poke it. This is Luke Hawkinsmith trying to play. They're trying to clear that line and just haven't been able to here for the last few minutes.
Yeah, I think you're going to see. I would be surprised if in the second half they don't say, hey, we're not going to play to our striker's feet. We're going to play into some space and see if they can't run down on it. Because when he's on the ball, he's crafty.
Yeah, he's on it right now. And he's not on it in the position that I think he wants to be, but tried to connect with Griffin there, and Carter Gilbert steps in. This is Reynolds. I don't think he's going to outrun that Lewitt kid, man.
No.
That kid has got some wheels.
Yeah, I don't know that anybody's going to outrun him today.
That's Gilbert with the throw in. Vermillion gets a little touch. Pops out here. Craycraft can't quite get it off his feet. Yes, good step there from Gilbert.
So everybody can probably see this is where I say number 6 has got a
He's
run
got a
now.
man with him, yep.
And he's going to try to get that ball
That is
back.
Luke Hawkinsmith. He's going to get on the end of that. Henry Higbee he gets past Henry Higbee, but there is Preston Barber.
So I was going to brag on Anderson County a little bit in their organization we were talking about earlier. You see this so many times in a team that is built to soak up the pressure we were talking about it. And they talk about having 2 banks of 4.
Yeah, this is Vermillion. Very nice individual run. That was just really nice. Individual, beat the defender, one-on-one with the goal, and he just nicely played it just into the side netting. And so 2 minutes on the clock. Panthers put the 4th in the back of the net. Vermillion has played playmaker on the first couple on the second and third goal, but that time he decided to take some things into his own hand.
And what we've talked about a whole lot, he's been involved with them all today, I think. So,
yeah, Craycraft played the ball out wide to him, but I'm not sure that's going to be I'm not sure that'll count as an assist because Verm beat a couple players there, but. You know, it was one of those things where Anderson County got a few numbers up. Luke Hawkinsmith got in the background, and you want to try to have an attack, but it opens them up in behind. And it's hard to be organized and compact, but also create attacking.
Yes.
Got a whistle there. Not sure what's going on here. Not sure. Looks like he's going to restart with a drop ball to Frankfort High, so he did not stop the clock, so we're just over 1 minute left here in the first half.
Yeah, I'm going to have to. It seems like every time I start talking about a team's organization, something happens, so I'm going to have to stop.
Well, it's one of those things, you know, they got to try to score, right?
And it's hard to do it with just 1 or 2. So yeah, if you don't send some of your midfield up to kind of help, it's hard. But I brought up the 2 banks of 4 thing just because that is a very disciplined to be able to see teams do that and do it well, it takes some practice and some dedication to be able to get in that type of an alignment and soak up pressure like that. So. So Ethan played another ball down the swing here to Tyron Reynolds.
Not going to be able to catch up with that one, though.
And rolls out of bounds for a throw-in.
And I think that might be our last action. 3 seconds here. And that will do it for the first half here at Sower Soccer Complex. Anderson County defended well for the first, 20 minutes or so, but, I think the pressure of Frankfort High kind of got to them there. They were able to put a few in the net. They go in at the break up 4-0. We'll take a break. We'll be back, maybe chat a little bit about Bluegrass Sports Network and what we got coming up this week. So we thank you for joining us. We'll be right back.
Manager at Mill Ridge Farm. Whenever you transition financial institutions, there's a tremendous amount of paperwork involved. Traditional banks streamlined this paperwork and they just made it very simple. Traditional Bank is a locally owned bank that allows us to operate on an international platform. They make my life better, they make my job easier, and they make Mill Ridge a better place.
Running a business takes a lot of focus and dedication. Keeping up with the ever-changing tax laws and keeping up with all the numbers behind your business, while necessary, can cause distraction and even a little anxiety. That's where Charles T. Mitchell, certified public accountants, come in. They've been helping local businesses run smoothly since 1964. They've got the experience and quality you deserve, and they'll put your mind at ease. Taxes, accounting, and assurance services for your business. Charles T. Mitchell, CTMCPA.com.
Miss Sylvia, this is John from Anderson Apothecary. I was just calling to see how you were feeling today.
John goes above and beyond for each and every customer that we have.
He jumped right on it. If someone needed help, John would be the first guy there. No questions asked, nothing. He'll be there.
John just wanted to open a hometown pharmacy just to take better care of his customers.
Well, I sure am glad you're feeling better. We're going to be bringing your medication by here just shortly. Is there anything else I can pick up for you?
If you haven't met John yet, come out and meet him, and you'll like him just as much as we do.
Today's game is brought to you in part by Hurricane Bay Car Wash, voted once again the best car wash in Anderson County. Hurricane Bay Car Wash, open 24 hours and located right next door to Wendy's on Highway 127 South.
Today's game is brought to you by Century Bank. Anderson County is where our heart is. Century Bank, member FDIC, equal housing lender.
All right, folks, welcome back to the Bluegrass Sports Network. We're at halftime here at Sower Soccer Complex. Just a little over 7.5 minutes before we get back to play. I'm Bo Craycraft. Glad to be joined by Ashley Gritton today. Ashley, it's really good to have you back with us. Appreciate your time.
Yeah, good to be here with you.
So, 4-0. Goals from Vermillion, Gilbert, Gritton, and who was?
Well, Verm had the
PK. That's PK, right. So yeah. Vermillion has 2, Gritton has 1, and Carter Gilbert, who we like to call Gilly, with the 4th goal. But the score is 4-0. But it really doesn't. I mean, Anderson's created some chances. They've been pretty compact in defense. I think they're just stretched today. We talked about they're down their senior leading scorer, Colin Kays. We saw Evan Tanner play a little bit, but he's clearly not himself today. And so battling, Ashton Lewitt has been all over the place from that center back position. A little unlucky on a PK. I mean, it was a good call, but, it's just one of those situations where the Panthers probably didn't need that extra gift today.
Yeah.
So I'm really impressed with Coach Pritchett. I know he's shorthanded, playing a lot of young kids.
Yeah, everything that I've ever known just in the soccer circle is that his teams are going to be organized and disciplined, and I think we've seen that today. Again, Frankfort's obviously been able to score the ball some, but it's not for lack of being coached well and good effort. It's like you said, just staffed,
And that's the hard part about this COVID situation. The seasons have been shortened and even more compacted. Most teams are playing 3 games a week, every week. And so injuries are bound to happen. And we're also getting into the situation where, like, you're having some kids having to, Frankfort has a couple kids quarantining, so you're just down. And so you have to kind of make changes on the fly. But Frankfort High has done a really nice job. They've created a lot of chances. We've seen them, play the ball out to the wings and try to get the cutback. We've seen them play the ball through. We've seen a couple big switches, too, just to kind of change the point of attack. So it hasn't just been, breakdowns defensively. They've actually earned some of that stuff, too.
They have. One of the things that I think any sport you talk about, you encourage your kids to take what the defense gives you. And one of the things that I've seen out of Frankfort, out of this game and multiple games this season, is that they don't have a specific spot on the field that they're trying to attack or a specific position. They're really just looking for where space is and heading into it.
And I wonder if, Coach Kennedy will take advantage. You and I have already talked about how we've seen Craycraft move around a little bit. Your son Adam has moved from center to outside wing, but he's also played attacking mid some this season.
Yes.
Carter Gilbert played a little defensive mid the other night. So is this an opportunity for him to maybe see, okay, what if we get in a situation where we need this? Can this kid play here?
I think so. I think you will see him come out probably, if it were me talking, I think you'll probably see him come out the first 10 minutes and not do a whole lot different. But if Frankfort's able to get another one maybe, or if it even stays what it is, you do look kind of maybe halfway through the second half to start looking at some of those other options. We've got a tough game. Frankfort's got a tough game here, and
they got a tough week because they've got Bethlehem Tuesday night, and Bethlehem's always a big test. But then they got that final district matchup against Great Crossing, and we know that those boys can play some soccer.
Yeah, and I don't know, they had a ton of seniors last year, but I know they've got a good group of guys in behind that as well. So
they do, they're an odd situation because they haven't got to play much. They got started, had a really good result. I think they only lost 2-1 to Tate's Creek. They played a couple Lexington schools, but then they had to do a 2-week quarantine. And so I think they just started back this week. So I know they have us on Thursday night. I think they have Western Hills on Saturday night. And I think Franklin County Tuesday. So I think they're doing back-to-back-to-back districts. So they're getting back at it quick. But yeah, we'll be back here Thursday night, and that's a good segue. We'll be here Thursday night. We're going to plan to have a District 41 preview soccer doubleheader. We'll be here at Sower Soccer Complex for that game, Great Crossing versus Frankfort High. But we'll also be at Western Hills. Our cohorts, Brad Thomas and I think Jason Miller, are going to join us from Western Hills so that we can show both of those games and, 2 District 41 matchups, and probably we'll have a little bit to say about what the ultimate seeding looks like. Right now, Franklin County is 2-0, or Frankfort High is 2-0, and Western Hills and Franklin County have yet, outside of Frankfort High, they've still got 2 games to play. So join us on the Bluegrass Sports Network on Thursday. I think the games are around 7:30, but you can check out our website at kybsn.com. We'll have those up probably in the next day or so. Also going to plan to have some volleyball action this week. So it's weird to say. The games have been super crazy and fast, but we're in the final week of regular season soccer.
Yeah, it is. I was sitting here looking at Anderson County's schedule. It looks like their upcoming week they've got going to Mercer, away at Mercer and away at Spencer. So they've got a busy week ahead of them as well.
They do. Well, we got just under 2 minutes left, so let's take our final break here. Teams are kind of bouncing up, starting to make their way back out, and we'll be back for the final 40. We thank you for joining us on the Bluegrass Sports Network.
Running a business takes a lot of focus and dedication. Keeping up with the ever-changing tax laws and keeping up with all the numbers behind your business, while necessary, can cause distraction and even a little anxiety. That's where Charles T. Mitchell, certified public accountants, come in. They've been helping local businesses run smoothly since 1964. They've got the experience and quality you deserve, and they'll put your mind at ease. Taxes, accounting, and assurance services for your business. Charles T. Mitchell, CTMCPA.com.
Today's game is brought to you in part by Hurricane Bay Car Wash, voted once again the best car wash in Anderson County. Hurricane Bay Car Wash, open 24 hours and located right next door to Wendy's on Highway 127 South.
Today's game is brought to you by Century Bank. Anderson County is where our heart is. Century Bank, member FDIC, equal housing lender.
Hi, I'm Sarah Neely. I'm the financial manager at Mill Ridge Farm. Whenever you transition financial institutions, there's a tremendous amount of paperwork involved. Traditional banks streamlined this paperwork and they just made it very simple. Traditional Bank is a locally owned bank that allows us to operate on an international platform. They make my life better, they make my job easier, and they make Mill Ridge a better place.
Hello, Miss Sylvia. This is John from Anderson Apothecary. I was just calling to see how you were feeling today.
John goes above and beyond for each and every customer that we have.
He jumped right on it. If someone needed help, John would be the first guy there. No questions asked, nothing. He'll be there.
John just wanted to open a hometown pharmacy just to take better care of his customers.
Well, I sure am glad you're feeling better. We're going to be bringing your medication by here just shortly. Is there anything else I can pick up for you?
If you haven't met John yet, come out and meet him, and you'll like him just as much as we do.
All right, folks, welcome back to the Bluegrass Sports Network. As you can see, the fellas are making their way out for the final 40 minutes.
Yeah, it looks like Frankfort's coming out and shaping up the same way they started the game, and it's kind of glancing out here on Anderson County's group, and probably the same as well.
Yeah, I think you were right when you said, Coach K will probably start kind of the first 10 minutes with as normal and then adjust at that.
Yeah, coaches are going to be, they like to see how you book into the halves. How you start and how you finish each half is really important. So,
well, and I'm sure he's kind of given them some things he wants them to work on. So it's, do you see those things?
Correct.
Were they listening? And I could probably tell him, these are high school boys.
Yes, they're probably thinking about pizza and video games and everything else as well too. But hopefully they're focused on the game right now.
Yep, agree.
Now, if you're Coach Pritchett, what do you want to do in this second half now? Do we still want to focus on learning? Are we trying to get, obviously, if you can get that first goal back, then that's the start of getting back into a game. But do you break what you've been doing to try to get it?
I think he would probably tell you his number one goal is let's not get anybody else hurt. But I do think he's probably tried to give the kids some little wins that they can go for.
Well, I saw that right there. That was a real quick turn and trying to play it up in through the center backs, and that's typically what you do in soccer.
Yeah, and you can see that Josh Garcia has remained in that center mid role, so it looks like he's going to stay on the field today. This is Vermillion. Just dropped the shoulder there. He's got Barber making his way down the line. That's a good ball in towards Ty Hancock. But again, I've been really impressed by Ashton Lewitt.
Yes.
I think he heard me calling the wrong kid him early in the game, and he was like, "I'm going to show this guy who I am."
Yeah, we'll get this right.
Yeah, he's not going to forget me.
No, he's done a fine job.
He really has. He reminds me of Western Hills as a center back, Maddox.
Lincoln.
And that kid has really been impressive against Frankfort High. He was pretty much everywhere. Vermillion is trying to get in there. I think Vermillion's got his eye on a hat trick today. Maybe an assist too.
He's very possible. He's one short of each. So
this is a corner kick, so we'll see if they try the short routine.
Well, you know, and
they're not as in much a hurry as they were in the first half. You can see
they aren't, and you know, Frankfort's not a real tall team, so you kind of wonder is that part of the short routine is just that, you know, if we're playing to the head, we're not gonna, unless we've got some kids with some mad hops, we're probably not going to win that battle a lot.
Well, they definitely don't have the size, but that was a really nice ball. That's Barber, and he
puts it over.
He was shooting for the box truck back there.
But you are right. That's where probably caught them a little bit off guard there. They've when you take that short and then go on and play it in, it's Frankfort hadn't showed that play, I don't think, yet today.
No, they did a little cutback once.
That's what I've been expecting.
Yoakum's off his line quick. I think you're right. I think they're going to just try to play it into space and let Hernandez just try to outrun. This is good news here, too, seeing your boy Adam back out on the field. He took a pretty good hit there towards the end of the first half.
He did, and we got some information from a pretty good source that he was kind of rubbing on the hip a little bit when he got up earlier, so it is good.
That source wouldn't happen to be his mama, would it? Oh, from Jason?
Our cameraman.
Cameraman.
But, yeah, it is. Listen.
Here, short again. Verm's going to get around the corner.
And then play it on
I think he wanted to play that back post and just
sailed just a little bit.
Yeah, he caught that a little bit wrong. But here again, you see they've got a 1v1 situation with Hernandez. That's well done by Henry Higbee.
And this is kind of what I expected to see.
And they kind of started out that way and, you know, lost their way a little bit. But this is McLean Barber with a very nice turn. Finds Vermillion. He's got Barber out wide, but he looks for Nate Neal.
Mm-hmm.
And Ashton Lewitt once again there to clean it up. Plays it out wide for a throw-in. This portion of the match is brought to you by Hurricane Bay Car Wash. They've been voted Lawrenceburg's best car wash several times. You can find them over next to Wendy's across from the high school. So we're very thankful for their support. Higbee looking to switch it through his counterpart, Ashton Austin.
Got a little bit.
Yeah, got a little foot tied there. Ball wasn't quite played with the pace that I think. And this is Ethan Carpenter.
You know, we haven't talked about McLean a lot tonight, but I do agree with you in the fact that he's done a really good job at winning the ball in that midfield. And
this is his brother, Preston Barber.
Frankfort's flooding.
He is in the box. Is he going to play the cutback?
I thought maybe he might go
He
for it
probably
himself.
should have, but he went for that target.
Well,
he's got 2 goals on the year. He had a corner kick Tuesday night that I think the coaches credited with the own goal correctly, I might say, but he was advocating for it.
Yeah.
He likes to see the back of the net move.
Well, you know what? That's one of the things when the scoring is pretty balanced on this Frankfort team, so you do like to see that. But
this is Gritton. Nice little ball through there. Could Barber get on the end of it? I don't think he did. Nope, he did not. We got a couple substitutes. William O'Donnell, number 19, I believe, on the far side. I'm not sure. I think that maybe is Daniel Gardia. I need him to turn around so I can see his number. It's either him or Josh O'Banion. I think it's Josh O'Banion. Yeah, number 14.
And we see 27 jogging off. I just wanted to mention that because that's a different rule in soccer over the last couple of years, right? That you can go off and
you don't have to leave at the midpoint.
You can go off the closest point and then get
just
around.
kind of walk around.
You know, I want to mention Anderson County as well too. We were talking about Frankfort's the distribution of goals, but you know, Anderson County had the same thing. It looks like they've got 9 or 10 guys that are on the scoring sheet for them this year as well.
Well, I'll give a shout out. We've been following their Twitter account just so we can kind of keep up with them. And the night that they played Western Hills, they tied 1-1 against a really good Western Hills team. You know, we've had them several times, hoping to maybe have them again, for their Franklin County game. But I say all that to say William O'Donnell scored the tying goal, and he was their 10th goal scorer on the season. So, yeah, I agree. They've definitely spread it around. And like I said, a lot of that is work. That night it was off of Colin Kay's cross. And so I think it's hard to talk about this team without talking about Colin because he has had a part in such.
Yeah, I made a note earlier. He's accounted for 12 goals this year.
Yeah, and like I told you, last year he had 19 goals, only 1 assist. So his job last year was to score. This year, I think Coach Pritchett's asked him to be more of a distributor, more of a playmaker. I think he's played more in that holding, like 6 or the 8 spot instead of at the 9.
Box-to-box kind of role,
yeah, and I think he's done it very well. This is Vermilion.
Looks like each team may have had a sub, so.
I didn't catch who was that for Gilly.
Yeah.
Carter Gilbert has just checked in. Who did he replace? Henry Higbee?
Yeah.
Landon Pritchett. That was a really late tackle, and you can see the official is giving him a stern warning there.
Yeah, I think maybe that we saw earlier with Sam was I think you've just got a really passionate player.
I think so too, and you know, frustration is going to enter the picture too. You know.
Yes.
And our emotions, you know, even as adults, our emotions get the best of us. For us, Frankfort High parents, we saw that happen in Lexington on a Sunday afternoon. We were a little frustrated as a group of parents. Won't talk about that much more, but
just some.
I had to go buy a cigar and take a deep breath.
Yeah, you know, I think about the one thing you would say is I think most Frankfort fans would be okay with playing that game again.
Absolutely.
Maybe a best 2 out of 3, or
maybe here at Sower Soccer Complex, but hey,
it is.
It happens.
Doesn't go.
It's a good life lesson for these boys.
Didn't work out. And that would be the only knock of the year so far for this Frankfort team.
I think we're going to find out a lot about them this week. Josh Garcia here stepping up for the free kick.
Anderson County's number 8, Evan Tanner, is back out there. Again, we talked about him earlier and just trying to play through some discomfort and give him a lot of credit for being brave enough to go out there and have a go.
Gritton playing here at Vermilion, and a little stop and start there to get past Evan Tanner to Nathan Neal, who plays him right back, and I think Vermilion pulled up there, kind of avoid that collision, but wins a free throw in. Sorry. Nathan Neal once again playing a little playmaker there to Gritton. Back to Nathan Neal.
Had a go at it.
He had a go at it. It was a pretty good strike. Didn't have a whole lot of room there. We just clipped under 30 minutes here, so just want to thank Century Bank once again for sponsoring the Bluegrass Sports Network. Anderson County is where their heart is, solely focused on Anderson County, and if you need any banking needs, please see Century Bank. Tell them you saw them on the Bluegrass Sports Network, supporting Anderson County sports.
You know,
that's a good ball in there. I thought he was looking for Gritton, but good idea there from Carter Gilbert.
There's been no scoring in the
This is a lot like
far.
This is a lot like how the game started, right?
Agreed.
First 12, 15 minutes. Luke Hawkinsmith checking in, number 12 for Anderson County. Also checking in is for the Panthers is number 8, Colby Craycraft. And as we see, it looks like he checked in for Nathan Neal, but I think he pushed Ethan Vermilion up into that 9 spot.
Possibly. We've seen that a few times so far, and again, it's just one of those things where, a little different look.
Well, it's what we talked about earlier. McLean Barber's in the 6, Craycraft's in the 8, and now Hancock is playing the 10.
Mm-hmm.
And this is Tyron. I can hear Preston Barber yelling for the switch from here. This is
Oh, yeah, that's unfortunately a foul on Tyrone.
He's got to be careful there. I think he is going to get a card for this. He kicked the ball after the foul. I think he was frustrated with himself.
Yeah, it's tough when you're making those runs down the wing and you've got a defender that's, he was right on him. Nothing wrong there.
He just kind of – the shoulder was good. He just kind of extended that arm.
And then you just kind of let it go. And
so he'll have to take a break. KHSAA requires a yellow card to check out of the game. William Coblin, freshman number 24, jumps in, takes his spot there on the right wing.
Somebody asked me about that rule the other day, and it's probably, with high school boys, it's probably not a bad idea to give them a breather.
I think it's all about the emotion of it.
Yeah, exactly. Just kind of chill out for a couple
Take a
minutes.
breath,
Exactly.
and most of the time it's not as big a deal as you thought it was.
So Anderson County trying to go quick here and see if they can't get something going. And
that's Daniel Gardia putting pressure on Vermillion, and that was.
Yeah, you saw it coming, unfortunately.
A little clumsy there by Coblin, but Hernandez will win a free kick, and this is one of those situations where I think you'll see them. They're still not bringing a ton of folks up. They still got 4 back here.
But from that distance, he's 30 out maybe.
I think you try to float something right on top of that 6-yard box and see if you can get that keeper in no man's land.
Going to put it in a dangerous area, that's for sure. Or just have a go at it from there.
And those are spots I think Coach K wants to learn about his team. How do we defend this? Do we win the ball in the air? They went to Spencer County the other night, and it was a 0-0 game. Then you get a late goal. I think he was in an offside position. Yeah.
Coming back from offsides.
Yep. Yeah. But anyways, it was a 1-0 game. How do you close those last 5 minutes?
Mm-hmm.
They had a couple corner kicks. They had to win those, and they did. And so I think these are spots he'll try to use those as learning tools.
Well, and as once again, we're seeing some combination play down this left side, and ultimately didn't.
Vermillion wanted it. I think he wanted it to feet.
Keep it going, but
Preston played it to space. But it's all right. Yeah, I think.
You were talking about defending set pieces earlier, and there's so many components about that. A lot of teams choose to man mark.
That's a good ball, but it might be too much. No, Verm's going to get there.
He did.
This is Carpenter. Nice little move there. Didn't quite get the cross that he wanted, but it only goes to McLean Barber.
And that's your other outside back that's come downhill.
Yeah. Vermillion takes a left-footed shot.
But we was talking about man marking on set pieces, and there's some zone and there's some man principles that all play in there, because a lot of times your numbers aren't exactly 1-to-1, and confusion can happen in those situations if you're not.
Especially in that zonal marking situation. If you man mark, you're subject to getting picked.
Correct.
A lot of you don't hear that talked about a lot, but on set pieces, you'll have defenders kind of set picks for each other,
They rub each other.
Yeah. So in the higher ranks, you see a lot of zonal marking.
You do.
But then you leave yourself open to miscommunication or something like that. So.
Yeah, well, you have to. The thing about zone, and I have an appreciation for defending in a zone in certain situations, but somebody has to go to the ball.
Yeah.
And that's what you see sometimes is everybody expected somebody else to go.
It's not in my zone.
Yeah, so it can be confusing as well.
Ashton Austin will play it back here to Sam Yoakum. Probably not the distribution Sam wanted. Handball, I think. Coach Pritchett said his son Landon broke his arm last week. Yeah. The left back has changed, but the yelling for the big switch has not. Now Carter Gilbert is back there asking for it. Vermillion in, tries to cut it back. Good defending there by Wesley Ashby. Carter Gilbert's got him one, but he's looking for another.
You know what? That's you have an appreciation for these kids that are still hungry for, still want to score, right? And that's I think maybe a few years ago, the game of soccer was that if you were up by 1, especially 2, that you could just kind of go into a defensive shell and
Here is the short routine again. And Gritton played it in the box there. And Vermillion got a touch on it, but out for a goal kick.
Couldn't get turned around on it.
Looks like Evan Tanner is checking back into the game, number 8. We mentioned him in the first half. You can already see he's just a little bit gimpy. Coach Pritchett said he was going to give him a few minutes just to give kids breathers. But in the short time that he played in the first half, he created a couple opportunities for his team, so you could tell how much they miss him.
He's a good-looking kid. I mean, you can just look at the way he's put together, and I mean, he's a good-looking kid. So I have no doubt they're missing him, being 100%.
This is Craycraft. That's the second time Ashby's come over and done a really nice job of defending.
You know, he's I don't know how I know his family, and I don't know that he's been a lifelong soccer player, but I think he's done really well since he's taken
to it.
Yes.
This is Griffin, and referee is going to play it. He's going to call it back to the earlier foul. He tried to. Yeah, it's a foul on Frankfort High. He tried to play advantage, but once Griffin lost possession, he calls it back.
I think Anderson County seems like they've gone away from that real direct long ball, haven't they?
But we're almost halfway through here, and it's still 4-0. Craycraft here with a win, trying to play Hancock in, but wasn't able to do it. Well, back on it, though.
Yep.
That's out to William Coblin.
Well, we talked about weather in that storm in the first half, right? You sometimes see goals kind of happen in spurts.
Yep.
And that's kind of what we saw. But this second half, now it's kind of, like you said, it's more like the way the game started.
That ball went out for a Bearcat throw in, and we got a substitution. I think that's William O'Donnell, number 19. While we're talking about Anderson County, not only are they missing Colin Kays, they've also been missing Taylor Wright for a couple weeks, according to Coach Pritchett. He's having some knee issues. And he was their second leading goal scorer last year and had a couple goals and assists. So wanted to make sure that we noted him.
Oh, man.
Yeah, it was pretty close.
It was. Yeah, you got to – I'm obviously not on the line, but I think this field has a little bit of extra crown
It
right
does
there
have a little crown.
So it's,
it definitely does. This is Tanner. That's a great ball out there to William O'Donnell. Cuts it inside. Good defending there from Carpenter, and a nice little Cruyff there.
It was.
This is Coblin to Vermillion. He tries to release William Coblin, but Ashton Lewitt there doing his job. He's done it very well today.
I think Will's another one of those kids. He plays goalie for his club team, doesn't he?
He does.
So
he does.
It's really, I think it's a really neat thing to see these goalies that are out here playing in the field as well. We talked about Josh for Anderson County, and you want your keepers to have some foot skills.
You
right?
do. I mean, in today's game, they pretty much have to. You know, the days of not having a keeper who can receive it with his feet are over.
Mm-hmm.
Ethan Carpenter wins a foul. Ethan's one of our seniors. Frankfort High celebrated their senior night on Tuesday with a win against Danville. Ethan was able to put one in the back of the net. His first on the season. I think it's the first in his career, but I may be wrong on that. Won't be the first time I've been wrong. You can ask my wife or child or the families that I refereed for today.
That was some neat little play there from Frankfort. Ultimately didn't result in what they were looking for, but
we got a slew of substitutions coming in for the Panthers. It looks like Nathan Neal, Preston Barber, Taylor Dunnigan.
Diggy, I think I see on the phone.
Xavion Douglas goes by Diggy.
And then David, I think.
Reboletto, yep, David Reboletto. So Diggy is taking the throw in right now. He's a sophomore. You know, we talked about Anderson County having a lot of young kids. Frankfort High has a big sophomore and junior class.
Well,
and they've got a handful of freshmen, like with David Reboletto and William Coblin, and a couple others that are on the JV team that can definitely help in the future as well. Jacob Tracy is one that comes to mind.
Yeah, I think Frankfort's there's a lot of their seniors are defense and keeper, right? So they're
Vermillion trying to play that ball to the back post. And, you know, Dunnigan's going to win a free kick there by just working a little extra hard to get in front of the ball. And
good sportsmanship with number 12 here. He made sure.
I like that Luke Hawkins-Smith kid.
Absolutely. He made sure he came over and said good play. And
I think he's done that once before too. So ball into Vermillion. He tries a little flick. Collected by Peevler.
And you mentioned earlier, this has been a good, clean game.
It has. I mean, we had a couple yellow cards, but they've been more because of where the fouls occurred, not how the fouls occurred. And, you know, probably the worst tackle was on your boy, but the intent wasn't.
No, I don't think there was any.
That was Ashton Lewitt, and I don't think he realized how quickly they were converging.
Yeah, I didn't see any bad intent there. Adam may disagree, but you know, no, it wasn't. It was a good, clean soccer play that.
Want to also give a big shout out, Frankfort High student Ethan Steigers. Ethan is nice ball in there from Josh Garcia. Ethan Steigers actually ran the camera for us this morning for the Frankfort High Western Hills girls soccer game. He is in a broadcasting class at Frankfort High. And we've actually used Ethan several times. It's been really good. He's done a great job. And we've thrown him in some weird situations. We put him on a high pod at Anderson County for the Western Hills game. And just want to give him a shout out. We are thankful for his time, and hopefully he's getting some experience and learning something. He actually has been a member of the Frankfort High soccer team for the past couple of years, but chose not to play this year as a senior, and but still staying involved by coming and watching them play and looking through a camera. Oh, that's a good early strike there.
Good early hit.
Wasn't as far as it looked.
No, it's just sitting here thinking about, you know, Anderson County and probably what they were talking about at halftime. And you want your kids to come out and win the second half, right?
Absolutely.
You know, if first half doesn't go your way, a lot of times you'll hear a coach say, hey, let's go out and let's win this half. And so far, man, it's been a tough game. No scoring in this second half.
No. And they haven't – I think they've dropped their line a little bit because, you know, they gave away a couple of those breakaways. Adam got in behind and Gilly got in behind, Carter Gilbert. So they've dropped their line a little bit and have just tried to keep the ball in front of them. And that's probably not a bad idea.
No, especially against a team that's, you know, not always does the team that has the most possession win, but sometimes you'll see some teams play a little different based on just their tendencies. So
it's a good idea there from Josh Garcia, but just a little bit too much on it for Luke Hawkins-Smith. This is Taylor Dunnigan with the turn. He's got David Reboletto making a run down line. Good step there by number 15, Clay Knight. He's a freshman. Don't remember calling his name, so not sure if he played in the first half, but a really nice step there from Mr. Knight. Reboletto. He's got Nathan Neal in behind. Is he going to get there? He is not.
Wow, that's a good little burst of speed I saw from Nate.
Nathan's got some speed. He plays in the middle a lot, so you don't see him get out into that space, but he definitely does. This is Douglas. Good little toe poke there to win possession. Barbara will play Henry Higbee.
A little bit of a lazy ball there.
Yeah. Luke Hockensmith making a good run forward.
Anderson County still
They're still playing, man.
willing to commit some bodies forward, and their shape looks good and good. You know, we talked about Anderson County's had soccer's not something that's new for them. You know, they've had some really good coaches over the years and some really good players, and
Absolutely.
and see a lot of potential here on this team as well. Like you said earlier, with
They were in they were in the Frankfort district forever. Back when I played, in fact, my senior year, we played on the football field at Anderson County, and so this series goes way back. It's not the case now, but I can't remember a year where the boys didn't play Anderson County, didn't play Western Hills or Frankfort. I don't think they're playing Franklin County this year.
just because of the shortened season, I'm sure.
Yeah. This is Josh Garcia with the free kick. That's a nice little short ball, well played by Sam Yoakum. I got to be honest with you, that was a really nice idea from Anderson County, and Yoakum was quick off his line.
And is a little bit slow to get up, isn't he?
Yeah. Want to thank Charles T. Mitchell for sponsoring the Bluegrass Sports Network. If you have any accounting, small business needs, give one of the fellas a call down on Main Street here in Frankfort. Also, if you need to see a good ladies goalkeeper, you can find Caroline McClavick, Greg's daughter. Again, I mentioned her earlier today, but, man, I watched that, and it was just they were under a lot of pressure. She's the goalkeeper, and two PK saves, man. That is just – you don't see that very often.
That's pretty good. I think Caroline has played as a keeper for quite some time now, hasn't she?
Yeah. She was in club for a little bit over at Versailles. I had her a little bit in the academy. She's a good kid. But we appreciate Charles T. Mitchell.
And she may be the boys' team's #1 fan.
Yeah, I saw her. She was trying to sneak in down there, hiding underneath the tree.
Ooh.
Ball was played into Nathan Neal, but ultimately he was offside.
Well, we talked about that earlier in the game, is about Anderson County being very disciplined in their back line. And we've seen some offsides calls in this game. Sometimes when you play that sweeper, you don't see that.
Yeah.
But that's what playing that disciplined flat line will do.
This is Nathan Neal again. Be a throw in for Frankfort High. Got just over a little over 10 minutes left. In addition to Charles T. Mitchell, we're really excited to add Traditional Bank this week to the Bluegrass Sports Network for the remainder of the fall season. They're in and through Lexington, Frankfort, Paris, other areas. Very thankful for their support and the opportunity to cover soccer, where you don't get – it's not like football where you get timeouts, basketball, volleyball. Carter Gilbert trying to connect with Preston Barber. Back to Gilly, and he finds McLean. That's Reboletto. Trying to play Vermillion through Craycraft will. And will Vermillion get the hat trick? He will.
He snuck that one in there. I was questioning whether he had the angle or not, but he snuck that one in there.
I'm not so sure that maybe he got a little help from a deflection.
Okay.
That defender was sliding in, but I couldn't see from this angle. Nonetheless, that's Ethan Vermillion. He grabs his hat trick. Third goal to go along with 2 assists, I believe. I think that ball was played through by Colby Craycraft, number 8.
And that's one thing we've seen out of Colby in his time in the midfield is he's been highly involved in the link-up play. So,
yeah, he had a game down at Walton Verona, I guess, about a week and a half ago where he got a hat trick of assists.
Yep.
and he likes to be the facilitator.
That's a good thing.
Yeah, especially on a team like this where you have a lot of guys that like to get into the attack.
Mm-hmm.
You got to have a few that are willing to share it. Carpenter with the throw in here. Gritton looking for the big switch. Didn't quite get it, but Gilly will pick it up there at the center back spot. Looking for Xavion Douglas. Good pressure there from Anderson County, but just for a throw.
And a couple of bodies kind of come in for Frankfort as well, too. Is this right here in the midfield?
Number 28, that's Ashton Allen, yeah. Ashton Allen, he's a junior. Yeah, good catch. I didn't see him checking in. And this is Tyron Reynolds. That's a good win there from Douglas. And now he'll face up with Hernandez. Really well done there from Douglas. This is great minutes for him, you know, as a sophomore. Hernandez is a guy that's forward thinking as well, so puts you under pressure.
Mm-hmm.
We're under 8 here at Sower Soccer Complex. Frankfort High, 5-0, but only have seen the net ripple once in the second half.
Yep. Yeah, like we talked to Anderson County has come back out in the second half with kind of, you know, some renewed energy, and it's been a really tight game in the second half.
What a beautiful day.
It has. You mentioned the other night that the weather was not as nice as it is today, we'll say, but today you couldn't ask for much better. The wind has died down, and all in all, just a good day to be on the soccer field.
It is.
Anderson County got a throw in deep into the Frankfort area, and ball's still kind of bouncing around. Anderson County's got some numbers forward, so.
Yep. Looks like it out of play there, so it'll stay in the final third here. But one of the differences is they've still got 3 guys hanging back here. In the first half, I think a couple of times they got numbers forward and left themselves kind of subject in the back.
You know, that was one that Sam had to keep his eye on that ball.
That was Clay Knight, I think.
That's just one of those, as a keeper, you're thinking, whoa.
Well, and you always worry because, you know, the ball's in the air and you got kids running into your face, you know.
You do, and, you know, it's
like similar to what you talked about with Adam earlier where you running and you got a guy on your back.
Yeah.
Keeper's coming out at you. Doesn't matter who's on this left back position. Now you got Ethan Carpenter down here.
Yep. You know, goalies and people that aren't terribly familiar with soccer might not realize it, but goalies are actually trained to come out and put their knee up.
Yep.
And it looks really aggressive.
We're going to get a card here. I think probably for a little dissent. I think he didn't really agree with that call. And the official didn't agree with the dissent, and so
and there you have it.
We'll take care of that. You go take a break for a second, Mr. Hancock. Who checked in for him there? Is that Dawson Pearl? That is Dawson Pearl. All right, so we have another goalkeeper turned field player today. Wearing number 42. Dawson scored in one of the JV games the other night, so he's got good feet too. That's a story between him and Josh both. Dawson has played club soccer for LFC and has some experience, and so definitely can hold his own.
I think that's one thing that Frankfort has had over the years, and not just Frankfort, but other teams as well. But I know Frankfort seems like they've had their goalies have been good field players. It's just kind of something.
Well, and one of the best goalkeepers to probably come through Frankfort High was didn't even really play goalkeeper. Bailey Spade.
Yeah.
I think he did play goalkeeper for a season, maybe two, but then he transitioned into the midfield. Just because he was good with his feet too, but he went on to Center College and had a 4-year, he started basically all 4 years, had a great career. I think he set some records for shutouts. And his father, Alan, has worked at Frankfort High, retired, and now he still does some stuff at the school. But I think he's playing overseas. I'm not sure exactly where, maybe Germany or France. That's Craycraft playing. This is Caleb Hack. He's looking back to Craycraft, got a little pressure. Back to Caleb Hack. He crosses it. That's Jeremiah Jimmy Pardee. Can he get it off? He could not. He couldn't quite turn. This is Michael Gaddis on the ball. He also is just checked in. There's Pearl's first touch out to Henry Higbee. That's Ashton Allen. Out to Jackson Fisher. Tried a good early cross. He got to the byline. Good cutback, and that is Caleb Hack. Ooh. Just wide. Oh, just wide. But that was really nice. Several combinations there. I was laughing because the Jackson Fisher hit the ball, and I think it hit the Anderson County guy in the hand, or at least he was shaking his hand like, oh, that stung.
So has Anderson County got maybe some of their some players in that maybe haven't seen? Or
well, they've got number 20 down here at right back. I don't have him in the roster. Yeah. I think he's this is Evan Taylor, and he will put it home. That was a really nice pass from Hernandez. That was I'm not sure who played in Hernandez, but.
Well, what's interesting is I don't see that limp right now.
No? you put the ball in the back of the net, everything starts to feel a little bit better.
He has been obviously favoring it. You can tell that he's got something bothering him.
And you can also tell what he can do.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
That was a one-time good little finish there. And so 5-1. I think that I think the Bearcats deserve that this second half. I think they they deserve to get a hit back there. 5-1 goal by Evan Tanner, senior. That'll be his 4th goal on the year, and the Carlos Hernandez with the assist. A really nice ball across the face.
Well, and you can definitely see too that if this Anderson County team's healthy.
It's a different game for sure. It's a different game for sure. I mean, you add Colin Kays and Taylor Wright and a healthy Evan Tanner, it starts to look pretty different. That's a good ball in from Dawson Pearl. He's looking for Jackson Fisher on the backside. Flag was up, though, so be offside.
Had a few offside calls today.
Yeah. It didn't look like it from the naked eye, but I don't have a good angle. We mentioned Ethan Steigers running the camera for us this morning. Today's game, they have fought the sun the entire game. They're both going to have bad backs. Clint Goins did the first half for us. Jason Gilbert has done the second half for us, so we want to give a big shout out to them. We're very appreciative of them. The sun has come and gone, but when it has come, it has been right in our face.
Yeah, these early afternoon games puts the sun right above you. And
that is Luke Hawkinsmith playing here wide. Good work there from Michael Gaddis to Caleb Hack. Looked like another handball, but not called. This is Hack. Good touch there by Jimmy Party. This is Ashton Allen. Oh, he was going to play in Craycraft, and that was a really unselfish play, but a good little deflection there from Anderson County. 34 seconds here. Our clock's running out. Sorry, we got a little bit ahead of it. We've got 30 seconds here left. 5-1. Another ball into Carlos. This Henry Higbee coming over for a good tackle, and he's going to get called for the foul there, but that was good coverage from the center back position. Early ball, and that was 21. Luke Griffin got a head on it.
And Anderson County hadn't quit, have they?
They have not. And that's who they are. That's who they are. But that's it, folks, here at Sower Soccer Complex. Final here, 5-1. We're going to take a quick break, and we'll come back just for some real short wrap-up. We thank you for joining us on the Bluegrass Sports Network.
I'm Dr. Jenny Millen. I'm owner and chiropractor at Triple Crown Chiropractic and Wellness. I started this practice in 2010, and traditional bank is the fourth bank I've tried. After switching, I feel like I'm home. I'm from a small town, and that hometown feel of knowing that they care about where you are now and where you are going in the future, that is a win-win for me.
Miss Sylvia, this is John from Anderson Apothecary. I was just calling to see how you were feeling today.
John goes above and beyond for each and every customer that we have.
He jumped right on it. If someone needed help, John would be the first guy there. No questions asked, nothing. He'll be there.
John just wanted to open a hometown pharmacy just to take better care of his customers.
Well, I sure am glad you're feeling better. We're going to be bringing your medication by here just shortly. Is there anything else I can pick up for you?
If you haven't met John yet, come out and meet him, and you'll like him just as much as we do.
Today's game is brought to you in part by Hurricane Bay Car Wash, voted once again the best car wash in Anderson County. Hurricane Bay Car Wash, open 24 hours, and located right next door to Wendy's on Highway 127 South.
Today's game is brought to you by Century Bank. Anderson County is where our heart is. Century Bank, member FDIC, equal housing lender.
All right, Ashley, back here at Sower Soccer Complex. Just finished boys varsity soccer between Anderson County and Frankfort High.
Yeah, Anderson County, I tell you, I give a lot of credit to Coach Pritchett to come down today, and obviously short staff. We've mentioned it 2 or 3 times, but I don't think you can say enough about a well-coached team to come down when you're short staffed like that and to play clean and organized and fight from start to finish. So
absolutely,
a lot of credit to them. We mentioned at halftime, but they've got a busy week coming up. They're going to Mercer County, going to Spencer County. We wish them a lot of luck. Hopefully they can get some of those players back healthy. I don't know what their status is, but hopefully they can get healthy and finish out their season the way they want to.
Yep, in Frankfort High, we've already talked about their week. They go to Bethlehem on Tuesday. Then they're back here on Thursday night for a big matchup against Great Crossing, their final district matchup. We will have that game here on the Bluegrass Sports Network, along with the Franklin County Western Hills boys game. So Thursday night, mark your calendar. It's going to be a good night to sit on the couch and watch some football.
Sure. Frankfort moves to 8-1 on the season.
8-1. Again, spread the goals around a little bit. Of course, Verm had a hat trick, but we saw 4 goal scorers today.
We did.
And so, Ashley, it's always good to have you. I really appreciate you joining us.
Pleasure being here.
It's nice to have somebody that actually knows something about soccer that can compliment me. And but we thank you guys for joining us on the Bluegrass Sports Network. Make sure you like us on YouTube and subscribe. Also, we're on Facebook. We'll have some Bluegrass Energy power plays of the game, both from football and soccer. So keep an eye out on social media, and we'll catch you at our next game. Thanks.